2011, Eastern Kentucky produced 92 million tons of coal. Last year, we only produced 16 million tons of coal. 2018 saw the lowest domestic use of coal since Jimmy Carter was in office. So as you can imagine, this downturn in production has had a very negative impact for our region. It's caused a decrease in employment, a decrease in revenue for our city and our county governments, and even a decrease in revenue for our school systems. You know, for as long as I can remember, coal has been part of my life. I can remember being a little boy out on the job site with my dad. I used to love the smell of the dirt, the sound of the coal going into the coal trucks. It was a good sense of pride to know that you're providing for your family, your community, and your country. I always wanted to walk in the footsteps of my grandfathers, my father, my father-in-law, to work in the coal industry in some way. For the majority of my life, I've been able to hang all my hopes upon coal. But times have changed, the economy has shifted, and real family and people are hurting. And I know this from personal experience, just as many of you do also. So in 2015, in November, my wife and I had to make a very hard decision. We were going to have to look outside of the region and outside of the state in order to be able to provide for our family. See, I have 4 daughters. I have Taylor, Emma, Elle, and Abby, my lovely wife, Jennifer. So I started applying at different areas across the region and outside of the state. And I was very fortunate. I got a job offer in the state of Tennessee. And it was a good job offer. I'd be able to provide for my family, give my girls some hope for the future. But it also meant I had to leave a lot of my friends, my family, my community, and the coal fields that I loved behind. So in late November, we made the very hard decision we were going to leave the area. And on the very day that we made that decision, I got a call from the RH Group, who is a local coal and land company. And they said, we have an offer for you. It was a little bit of a different offer than what I was expecting. They said, we would like for you to come and work, just not in our coal division, but what we'd really want you to do is focus on our assets that are non-coal related and see what you could do with them. Now, I knew that the RH Group was one of the largest landholders in Kentucky. So I thought this could be my one chance to make Eastern Kentucky a place that my girls could have a future. My grandfather had always told me that inspiration or desperation drives innovation. So, do I take the job in Tennessee or do I bet on Kentucky? Well, as I'm sure you've guessed, I bet on Kentucky, and I'm sure glad I did. As a matter of fact, my daughter Emma is our current Miss Kentucky teen for USA for 2019. Now, I know what you all are, thank you. Now, I know what you're all thinking. She has to get her looks after her mother. Now, so I took the job with the RH Group. It's not that funny. So I took the job with the RH Group 2 days before Christmas in 2015. Next couple of weeks, all I did was look at the land that the company had and get familiar with it. That way I'd be ready to go come the new year. So when January came, I started updating all my contacts. And I stopped in to see my good friend Adam Edlin, who had just found himself in a new job at consulting. And I started updating him on the task at hand and everything that I had to do. And he said, kind of jokingly, he said, you ever thought about a renewable energy project? Now remember, I'm the coal guy, so we both had a pretty good laugh out of this. And I said, no, seriously, what do you mean? He said, man, I don't know, wind turbines or solar panels or something like that. And I said, you know, if it'll help put some people back to work and we can make some money off of it, then I'm all for it. So the very next day, we started looking at lands that the company had that would qualify for solar. We started contacting solar companies to see who may be interested. And it didn't take us long for us to figure out that we were onto something. It seemed that a coal company that was willing to do a renewable energy project in the heart of coal country on top of a reclaimed mountainside and put a bunch of people back to work, well, it's kind of a big deal. Now, I know that solar is not a new concept, but it is very new to this part of the world. So we did not want to do a project that was just a window dressing type of project that would get some news coverage and then be gone tomorrow. We wanted to do a project that would punch a hole big enough for others to follow. We wanted to be able to duplicate this all over the region. Now, we knew that we were going to have some hurdles to cross in order to get this done. Kentucky is one of the few states who does not have a renewable energy mandate. And also, we're doing this in the heart of coal country. And third, Kentucky also does not offer third-party generation, which means I cannot create power and sell it to you. Now, I know that's kind of a crazy law, but there's one caveat to this. And Eastern Kentucky is positioned perfectly to take advantage of it. Eastern Kentucky sits on the edge of what is called the PJM, which is a wholesale power market for the entire East Coast. Services between 64 to 65 million people. And Eastern Kentucky also has thousands of acres of reclaimed mine sites that are flat, which is perfect for solar. So if we're able to get an interconnection onto the PJM, then basically we can sell this power to whoever that we want. So over the next several months, we started interviewing renewable energy companies from all over the world. And at the end of the day, we decided to partner with EDF Renewables, who's done over 9,000 megawatts of renewable energy and is one of the world's largest energy producers. So along with our new partner, we brought in engineers and site designers to develop a 100 megawatt solar facility on more than 700 acres on a reclaimed mine site in my home county of Pike. It'd be the first large-scale renewable venture ever in Appalachia. It would come at a cost of over $130 million and put a couple hundred people back to work during the construction phase. Now, in order to make this dream a reality, we have to find someone to buy the power for the next 15 to 20 years. Now, that on its own is a daunting task, but especially in an area of the country that this has never been accomplished, and especially on a reclaimed mine site. Now, this project on its own, it's great, but what this can really do for the state is spectacular. This can spur economic development all across the state because with renewables in Kentucky's energy mix, we can have companies like Amazon, Apple, Facebook to put data centers here, to put distribution hubs, to put company headquarters. And if other states can do this, then so can we. We can use the state of Texas as an example. In 2010, Texas had 15 megawatts of renewable energy. Today, they're one of the leaders in the country with over 3,000 megawatts. Now, are they doing this because they wanted to turn their back on the fossil fuel industry that created such wealth for their state? Or are they doing this to curb climate change? No. They're doing this because this makes economic sense. It doesn't matter whether you care about the environment or not. So what does renewables, wind and solar, mean for the state of Texas? Economic development is what that it means. In Austin, Texas, today, Apple is spending over $1 billion on a new campus that will employ over 5,000 people with the ability to grow to 15,000. And just like all of Apple's other campuses, powered 100% by renewable energy. Now, over the next 5 years, Apple is going to spend $10 billion on data centers. There's no reason that one of these cannot be located here in Appalachia. We have to diversify our thinking if we want to move forward. Kentucky has to be able to compete on a national and international level, or we're going to continue to fall behind. Toyota moved to Georgetown, Kentucky in 1986. In 1988, the first car rolled off the assembly line, and today that plant in Georgetown is the largest plant that Toyota has anywhere in the world. It employs thousands of people from all across the state. But when it came time for Toyota to locate its new North American headquarters, it chose Plano, Texas. One big reason, renewable energy. Now this is very important because Toyota, just like every other major company in the world, has a renewable sustainability mandate, which basically means if you do not have renewables in your energy mix, then they cannot do business with you. It'll make it very hard for them to do that in the future. Now, you may say that this cannot be done in Eastern Kentucky. Well, I'm here to tell you that it can be done. We can have coal and renewables on the same mountaintop. We can have Kentucky ready for the new economy. We can change the forgotten places of Appalachia. Now, I can say this because we've done it. This summer, we will start construction on a 100 megawatt solar facility in the heart of coal country. We will bring in new industry. We will put our people back to work. We will build upon the skills that our people already have. The RH Group, along with Edeland Ventures, EDF Renewables, and our new partner, Toyota, are punching a hole big enough in Appalachia for others to follow. Thank you very much.